Hello everybody, and welcome back to another behind the scenes. Today for this drawing, I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed the series so far, and I'm really excited to make more because they're pretty interesting for me to make, and I like giving you guys the insight of what process I use and what materials I used. So let's go ahead and get started. So I tried out this new watercolor palette, and it is called San Francisco Slant 360. It was like $6, so it wasn't too bad. Only bad thing is that white tends to stain, so all of these have stains in it, but I like that they're bigger because my other palettes were really tiny and it was really hard to clean, but these ones are bigger, and I like that you can put the paints here and then mix here or here. So yeah, I like how this one worked for me. I'll probably use it more in the future. Also, these are the cups that I used. They're just from Target. They're on clearance. It doesn't have the sticker at the bottom anymore, but and here are the brushes that I used. So these ones with this color, they're from Daiso actually, and they came in like a 5-pack or so, 4-pack. And there's only $1.50 for all of these, and I actually really like these brushes. This one you guys probably know is a water brush. This one's from Arteza, and then this one is from Michael's. I think this one was for acrylics, but this color, the purple ones, are for watercolors. And I think they're about $6 each, but then I used a coupon. So they're a little cheaper, and they come in like packs of 4 or 5. But yeah, those are the brushes that I used for this project. So for this one, I used a new piece of paper, a new paper pad. I haven't tried it before, but it is the Strathmore watercolor paper. It's 12 sheets and 9 by 12, and it has a little bit more texture to it. I don't know if you could see it, but it feels like almost like when you press something into like scrapbook paper, I guess, but not. And it feels really like soft. Is that weird to say it? It feels soft. So when I was using it with the watercolor, I actually kind of liked it, but I think that it doesn't really have the same effect of watercolor as other papers, but I do like that it's not really bumpy, because a lot of other watercolor papers are super bumpy and textured that I can't even draw like a straight line. So I like that this one has the more flat texture. So yeah, this one's what I had. I got it from Aaron Brothers. They had a buy one get 2 free, so it was basically 3 for the price of 1. So it was only like $13 for 3 of them, so that was pretty cheap. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys are curious about this one. This is a masking fluid, and I got it at Aaron Brothers as well. And it is a Winsor & Newton watercolor masking fluid, and I started using it because I saw another artist use it, and it really helped with like flat colors. So I started using it, and I really like it so far. So I'm probably going to use it more in the future, but if you saw in the video, I used it, to mask out the lady and do the background. Of course, the background didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, but I kind of already took off the masking fluid, so maybe in the future I can test out a little bit more and do something that has a little bit more intricate background, but this is just a test run, and I really like it so far. So yeah, that's what it is. Don't forget, all links are down below if you guys are curious about these products. And then if you guys are curious about the tape, this is the tape that I used. It just says artist tape on it. I don't really remember the brand. My sister got it for me at her school, so that's what it looks like. I like this one because like a lot of other tapes, they tend to rip off the paper, and even this one kind of ripped off the paper. It didn't do it as badly as other ones, and for the most part it didn't rip it, it was just the top. So I like this one. It's pretty thin, as you can see. But they do come in like thicker sizes, so yeah, I recommend this type of tape. So these were the first thumbnails that I did. As you can see, I had a bunch of different ideas. The main idea was to go off the shoes, because I saw these shoes from the shoe bakery, and I wanted to do something that was kind of dessert based. So this was the first idea, and then as you can see, I tried to execute it, but as you can also see, I didn't finish the hair or like the rest of the clothes because it turned out to be very stiff and not dynamic at all. So then I went for this thumbnail, instead, where she's like twirling her dress. And then on the back side here I have the rendered out sketch that I did. And I like how this one turned out. As you can see, I put a lot of effort into those ringlets. I don't usually draw ringlets that much, but I wanted to give like a cake dessert feel, I guess. The whole idea was to go for a mint chocolate chip kind of thing, which is my favorite ice cream. So that's what I was going off of. And then here inside of my sketchbook, I did a little color comp with some markers just because I didn't know what it would look like together, and instead of doing the mistake where I didn't really want to go in blindly, I decided to do a small color comp. So here we have it, very, very tiny, as you can see here. And I didn't do it in detail, obviously, but I did it really, really rough, and I just wanted to get the idea down. So, like, she was supposed to have the waffle cone torso, and then a mint green dress, and then the chocolate, and then her shoes were the same. And then I wanted to make sure that the hair was dark to contrast. I didn't keep in mind the skin, but I think that, I mean, I did want to do a darker person, just in general, but I think if I made it too dark, then it would contrast too much with the hair and the chocolate, so I decided to make it kind of like a middle tone. And then last minute, when I did finish it, I did add in some red just to add some pop of color, and for her lips, because why not have red lips? And then I added these little dots with a white gel pen at the end, because I liked how it turned out. I liked having like maybe sprinkles or powdered sugar or something in there. One of the most challenging parts was to actually make the hair color and the chocolate color, because they didn't come with the color that was this kind of brown. Let me show you guys. Alright, so the colors I used for this kind of green was the cerulean blue and sap green, and I also used white. So I used a lot of white because I want it to be lighter. I think I made a little bit of a mistake using the cerulean blue though, because afterwards I used this Prussian blue instead, and it worked out a lot better, as you can see down here. Of course, I was also going for a mint green, and I don't know if I kind of achieved that because it's kind of dark for a mint green. But I still like how it turned out because it is more contrasted to the background, if you can see it very, very slightly. And then for her skin, I had to mix it as well because they didn't have like a non-red brown. So the browns they have are, let's see, they're right here. Burnt sienna, which I expected to be a red brown, and then burnt umber, which I thought would be a darker brown, but they turned out to be almost identical in their, I guess, execution. So in order to get this actual brown, which is shown on the cover but it's not in the tube, I used a couple of colors actually. I used the burnt sienna, I used the burnt umber, yellow ochre, and then I used the blue, which I kind of just winged it. I winged it because I wanted to see if it would make it more of a chocolate brown instead of a burnt redwood brown, I guess. So that actually worked pretty well. I had to mix it a couple times to get this brown, but I like this brown. And then for her skin, I used burnt sienna, I think some of yellow ochre, and the white, because I didn't want her to be red. It's basically like a terracotta red, or like if you know the mesa, like that kind of red sand, it's that color. And I didn't really want her to be that color. So yeah, and this is what came out of it for the waffle cone. I used yellow ochre. Is it ochre? Yeah, I think it's ochre. And I mixed it with a little bit of brown to get it more waffle cone color. And then I mixed in some white and also desaturated it with some water so that we can get this kind of like texture where it's a waffle cone. And then I just built up the color slowly over that. So I think that is about it. For the pen that I used, it was the one I did the review on last, which is the Artline pens, and I stuck mainly to the 0.2 and the 0.1. So if you're curious about that, that is what I used. So I'm probably going to clean these edges up with either some white gouache or a white gel pen. Or I could Photoshop it. I'm not sure. And I'm thinking of doing a dessert series, but it will probably come out pretty slowly. But I did enjoy kind of coming up with this idea for a dessert series. It was inspired by the shoes. These are not the exact shoes that they have in the shoe bakery. They have like waffle cone heels and stuff, but I kind of wanted to simplify it so that the waffle cone was only on the torso. And then maybe like a little cherry to match that, and then her lips. It was mainly because the lips. I didn't want it to be so like green, I guess, only green and brown. So I added some red. And I think that's about it for what I used in this painting. It was a review for these paints, and I actually really like them, but the colors that they come with, I think, did not fit to what I wanted. I could mix it, but then, like, it was kind of disappointing that the burnt umber was not what it was supposed to be. Unless that's not what it's supposed to be, but it didn't look like this at all. It looked more like the other one. It actually looked more like vermilion. But yeah, I hope I will use these more in the future with my new paint palette. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the little behind the scenes looking into what I used and all the materials and seeing like the process. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you guys want me to do a dessert series, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!